Welcome everyone. Welcome to Digital Boombox Network. Here is another segment of our interviews. And we have Reverend Morris in the house. Um, we will be discussing everything that his wonderful church is bringing to the Indian Orchard neighborhoods. And hopefully, well, like me, I live in the South End, but I've seen the church and it makes you just want to take that ride to come over here to this church here. So say hi to your audience.
Hi.
So we're gonna talk about. I know that there's a lot of stuff that's going on in your church. Let's start with where is it located?
Yeah. Uh, well, Yolanda, let me say firstly, it's a real blessing to be here with you today. Deeply grateful to be able to share a few moments with you and our listening audience, and always excited for the opportunity to talk about our church, Greater New Life Christian Center. We're located here in Indian Orchard. Our street address is 1323 Worcester Street, Indian Orchard, Mass. The zip code is 01151. You can email us at gnlcc@localnet.com. And our website is greaternewlife.net.
.net.
If you
Remember
want to
that,
call
not
us,
.net, guys.
if you want to call us, you can reach us at area code 413-209 9820. So let me tell you a little bit about what we do at Greater New Life Christian Center. We are a Christ-centered, spirit-driven, Bible-based church that seeks to apply the gospel in a real live way.
Mm.
And here's what I mean by that. We preach and we teach God's word. But we can't stop with just preaching and teaching. We seek to live God's word. How we do that in the Indian Orchard community is through a number of community-based programs. One of the ones that we are very excited about is this. Greater New Life Christian Center is the parent company for the New Life Center for Recovery. We are the only church in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Yolanda, that is a fully licensed, fully accredited substance abuse and mental health facility. The same quality of behavioral health care that you would receive at a major hospital or clinic, you can actually come to the church and receive that same quality of care. The difference is that you don't have to leave your faith at the door, because we believe that Jesus can deliver you from anything. So we provide outpatient substance abuse counseling, mental health counseling, couples counseling, family therapy, group counseling. In addition to that, uh, the church owns and operates 3 sober homes. There's the Covenant House Sober Home for Women, which is a 13 room, uh, facility. Then there's Powerhouse, Yolanda, Sober Living for Men. We believe that our mission is to help men discover the power to persevere, the power to succeed, the power to prosper that God has given them, and the power to overcome issues of chemical dependence. Also, we have the Little House, which is a new project we brought online for families in recovery. So regarding healthcare, behavioral healthcare, the church is on the cutting edge in providing those kinds of services. I am the clinical director, and I am the executive director of the New Life Center for Recovery. We have an excellent array of youth services as well. Um, One of our flagship youth programs is called TOP, the Teen Opportunity Project. This is a program that is designed to get kids off the street, keep them out of gangs, and to put into their hands the kind of life skills and social skills and vocational skills that will help them succeed in life. We hire young people. We put them to work every summer and throughout the year.
Wow.
So we teach them how to be carpenters. We teach them how to be electricians, how to be painters, and the like. As a matter of fact, young people have remodeled 4 different buildings here in the Indian Orchard community and renovated the Chestnut Hill Park. So if you go by that park, which at one time it was blighted, the benches was all torn up, the grass was all growing out of everywhere, and nobody would use that park. As a result of what our youth did for the Chestnut Hill Park, people are now utilizing the park, and you see families there, people even walking their dogs or whatnot. So what was an eyesore at one point is now a real nice place in the Indian Orchard community. We have senior programming. We bring seniors in and provide the kind of information that they would find helpful. We do workshops around senior care. We provide a congregate meal for seniors where we're feeding them good, healthy food and just giving them an opportunity to fellowship together and be together and to share the kind of things in common that older adults have.
Mm-hmm.
We've also just launched the nursing program at Greater New
nursing
Life.
program, yeah.
We just did that in collaboration with American International College. It's actually called the Nursing and Recovery Program. It's community-based nursing, Yolanda, and if someone wants basic health screenings, if they want blood pressure checked, if they want cholesterol checked, if they want glucose, blood sugar checked, if they want podiatry services for their feet, things like that. We have a rotation of nurses from American International College. They come on Thursdays. And so every Thursday, you can come in and see the nurses. Not only that, but if you don't have, say, a primary care physician, uh, they can make some referrals for you and try to help you get that medical part of your life together. So these are just a few of the things that happen at the church. And of course, we have a full menu of church services, Bible studies, fellowship groups, worship services, of course, on Sundays and at other times. This coming Saturday, as a matter of fact, we're having a community fair here in Indian Orchard. So you'll see people out on Main Street, and they'll be there with vendor tables, and they'll be face painting and having games and fun and food and things of that nature. So these are just a few of the things that happen on the regular at Greater New Life Christian Center. I don't know if I've been talking too much
No,
or
definitely.
just running on, but these are some of the basic things that occur.
No, I mean, it is it is amazing if we had several different types of your church or what you're doing. I mean, we would be able to grasp a lot of the problems that we have in our city and giving in that open door. I mean, especially with youth training, youth jobs. I mean, I know that, Springfield is offering a lot of, they have the internships and stuff like that. But sometimes those things are selected, and it's all about who you know and stuff like that. And with New England farm workers, just like my daughter, they said that I make too much for my daughter to get hired with New England farm workers. And so my daughter, who goes to a really good school, is a really good girl.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either you make too much and in some situations, or if the kids are just not aware or stuff like that. So my daughter is basically like signing applications all summer long and no callback, no nothing. And she's willing. And I'm pretty sure she's not the only teen who's around her age bracket, 16, 17, who are like, wait, I don't want to have to ask mom or dad for money, or grandma or somebody else, And then what about the training skills? So you're giving them, sometimes we treat our teens too much like kids.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, back in the years, 16-year-olds were considered men. They could join the military. They were lieutenants. And now, for some reason, we baby our kids too much. And in turn, we weaken our own kids without even realizing it. So with giving them that, and I see the neighborhood, and when I went over there, and I says, wow, there's projects there, but it looks decent, and it looks really good. Like yesterday, I was heartbroken because there was a situation that I was canvassing, and one house I almost marked on my canvas list condemned.
Yes.
Because I thought it was condemned. And so I kind of seen in the window that there was a light in there. And I can't even believe that something that's just a couple of, just right down from us in our own, that somebody's living like if it's a war zone.
Yeah.
And with your church offering that substance abuse, which is, I understand what the governor is doing by saying, let's stop the opiate. But I think he's kind of doing it wrong because he's just cutting everyone off. So he's not giving them, saying, okay, let's wean you off, but at the same time, let's make sure your doctor is giving you somewhere else to go. Instead of just saying, okay, we're going to cut off the opiates, we're going to cut off this. And I know a few people who are like, have fibromyalgia, and then they're like, okay, the doctor just cut me off. Now what do I do? You're not giving them any other services. So where are they going to go? Of course they're going to go to heroin. Of course they're going to go find something else. Because you're not giving them anywhere else. It's good that he is cutting these opiate services off. Because a lot of people, like for me, for instance, in January, and you know how they say things happen in threes.
Yeah.
For instance, me, I have fibromyalgia. And I found out that I had it for about 6 years now. So I've been working since I was 13, so I've always worked. I've always done everything. And so I finally I felt the pain. They diagnosed me with fibromyalgia. They put me on oxys. And I didn't realize that I was becoming more and more tired. I was gaining weight. All of a sudden, now they had to put me on iron. Then they had to put me on other. And I'm 39. So at that time, at 35, I'm taking 4 or 5 medications, if I'm 80, 90 years old, to keep my life going. So in January, my Mass Health got canceled. So I lose my Mass Health. The oxys are $80. I'm like, I'm not going to pay $80 each time. So I'm like, oh, no. Before that, so the Mass Health, that's one.
Yeah.
2, my pains were getting worse. So the doctor says, well, we'll up your medication.
Okay.
And I'm like, ugh. So I'm already taking 10 milligrams of the oxy, 3.5 milligrams of acetaminophen, the whole thing. And people know that. And from then on, so the doctor's like, well, we'll up your medication. I'm scared of the upper medication because I have a neighbor who takes a lot stronger than me. And I'm like, ugh, I don't want to be on that type of medication because, literally she doesn't look like she's with us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, maybe let me get off and then allow my body, because he's saying that the body just got used to that type of pain. So I'm like, well, then maybe I'll just get off of it and stuff like that. I don't want to pay the 80. My mass health is done, and they want to up my medication, so I might as well just say, let me just get off of it and allow my body, sign for the mass health again, and allow my body. I, I, I've never done any form of heroin or coke or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
and just to get off the oxy,
yes,
was tough. Tough. I have a newfound respect
mm-hmm.
for a recovering addict. I was that person who would judge. I
Mm-hmm.
would be like, why can't you just get off of it? Stop it. You're just making excuses. You know, I, in January, had hit an epiphany
yes,
on how it feels to recover. Just off of me, just off of 10 milligrams, I couldn't even imagine someone getting off of coke after years and years,
mm-hmm.
or other stronger, even stronger drugs. If I'm having a problem with just 10 milligrams, I couldn't even imagine. And I have a newfound respect for anybody trying to recover.
Mm-hmm.
And and what are we in? October?
yes.
So I am 10 months clean from the
Praise the
oxy.
Lord. Yeah, well,
10 months clean. And I won't encourage anyone to do it the way I did.
yes.
I stayed on my couch for a month.
Mm-hmm.
As a community leader, I for the first time felt like closing my doors. People didn't hear from me for like 2, 3 months. I slept on my couch. I cried. I was
Yeah.
in pain. Um, but you know what? If I would have never done that, I wouldn't know the difference between my oxy now, my fibromyalgia pain now, to the yearning. I always thought that when I was feeling the pain, it was because it was my fibromyalgia, so I just go pop a oxy.
Yes.
I never understood that the pain that I was having was a urine pain for the oxy, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you're providing for your church, if I would have came in there, I would have been more aware,
We would have been able to teach you.
more to teach me, more. So I encourage people to do it, because cold turkey is just not it. I think a lot of other community leaders that came out and called me and helped me, and I never realized how many community leaders actually feel alone, or actually are suffering from pain or body pain. And it was amazing that, because I just went on Facebook and I says, you know what, I need to let people know how I am feeling. And I went, and and people called me, even leaders in the community that's always out there helping. And I never realized how a lot of us are actually alone,
Mm-hmm.
actually feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had somewhere to go to, because a lot of us that just don't want to go sign up for a therapy and go do all this other once a week with a therapist and stuff like that. So to be able to go to somewhere else and be able to express. And I think that your church is amazing. And I hope
Thank you.
that other churches will begin to mirror what you're doing.
Well, I appreciate that. And just let me say, Yolanda, you certainly do have a place to turn to for any kind of help or support that we're able to offer. But I want to come back to something that you said early in our conversation, and that's your daughter. And let me say, firstly, thank God that you have such a wonderful example of a young lady in your daughter at her age, 16, 17 years old,
Hmm.
who is really wanting to do some positive things. And she mirrors a lot of other young people. Uh, but in her case, she's kind of caught in this economic wasteland. You know, you you don't quite qualify for this because you're not low enough on this scale, and you can't afford to buy this because it's too high on that scale. So she's kind of caught in the middle. The thing about our youth program, the vocational youth program, is that it is not tied to a parent's income. What it is tied to is the need to provide services to keep young people from being at risk to drugs, gangs, guns, jail, and to keep them from falling into the cracks in the street.
Mm.
And so your daughter uh, would not be disqualified because of that. We have a young lady, she happens to sing in our choir at church. She's 18 years old. She just graduated from high school this past June. And she lives with her grandmother. And her grandmother is very stable, doing well. And her parents are providing for her. She has a desire to be a doctor. And so she came to see me, and we talked. We were able to get her into the top program, what's called the Teen Opportunity Project. She wanted to work. She had never worked in her life. 18 years old, she didn't know anything about working. And she was one of our best workers. As a matter of fact, she was on a landscaping crew with somebody that you know who was leading that crew, and that was Tanisha. And this young lady, her name is April. Uh, her desire is to be a doctor. So she graduated high school and is now in the pre-med curriculum at Western New England University.
Mm.
And she didn't have, uh, or let me say, she was not the kind of kid whose parents didn't have any means to provide for her. She was a kid with a need. She was a young lady in the Indian Orchard community who wanted to do some positive things. So, long story short, regarding your daughter, Yolanda, I would love for you to bring her over
Great.
and I could talk to her. And one of the things that I'm planning to do this before the year is out, and this will be the first time we've done it, we're going to roll out a Christmas jobs program.
Nice.
Young people need to learn how to be on the giving end
Yes.
during the holidays and things like that.
Hmm.
Our young people are wanting to know what they got for Christmas and, wanting mom or dad to get them this or that. And not enough of them know what it is to earn some money and to buy some gifts and be on the giving end.
That's
So
right.
we think that's an important value, and that's one that we're going to be seeking to teach our young people during this Christmas season.
I think that's amazing. And is it now for the youth, is there an age requirement for the youth for these jobs?
Yes, 14 to 21.
Wow.
And next year, we're going to expand the program from ages 10 to 24. But the jobs component, we're pretty much going to keep uh, the same age range. I actually started working when I was somewhere between 11 and 12. Um, I'm from Chicago,
Uh-huh.
and my aunt owned what we call chicken stores. This was before Kentucky Fried Chicken was Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's a neighborhood restaurant, where you can get some chicken, you can get fish, you can get some fries, you can get some barbecue,
That's
stuff
right.
like that. And so the food was put like in a little cardboard box. So ours was called chicken in a box. And I was a little boy in the back that would make up the boxes that your food would go in. And I was also, my auntie couldn't afford the frozen French fries that come in the bag.
Yep.
So she would buy the whole potato. So I had to peel the potatoes and make the fries. Now they call that home cooked fries. Um, but I started working at an early age. And when young people go to work, there's a certain pride that they feel about what they're doing. And we've seen it time and time again when a young person, 14, 15 years old, gets a check with their name on it, and they're able to go to the bank and cash that check or open up a little checking account for them or something like that, it totally changes their perspective about what they're able to do.
That's crazy. That is wonderful. Um, that's great that the ages for the young men, huh? Brief break. All right, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back in about, give us like a minute, and we will come back on. Brief break. All right, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back in about, give us like a minute, and we will come back on. All right, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back in about, give us like a minute, and we will come back on. All right, we're gonna take a break.